Derrell Baker was the eldest of 5 children, a role he carried with pride and responsibility. From an early age, he naturally became a protector to his younger siblings, watching over them and offering guidance in ways that reflected his maturity. His mother, Pamela Howard, remembered him as a bright light, someone whose energy filled the room and whose presence brought comfort and joy to those around him. To his family, Derrell was not just full of life, he radiated it. Every morning followed a familiar routine. Before walking out the door, Derrell would give his mother a kiss goodbye. It was a simple gesture, but one that held deep meaning. For Pamela, it symbolized the love, respect, and connection she shared with her son. Those small moments became lasting memories. Especially after his death, Derrell's home was one filled with warmth, structure, and affection. Pamela recalled one of her favorite memories being the sight of the bedroom door open, where she could see Derrell with his younger brothers cuddled up beside him. That image represented who he was at his core, a source of comfort and safety for his siblings. He was known for his laughter, his kindness, and his ability to make others feel seen and valued. Derrell loved his family deeply, and that love was evident in his actions, his words, and the way he carried himself. Within the household, he set an example for his brothers and sisters, showing them what it meant to be caring, respectful, and present. This foundation of love and responsibility shaped the person Derrell became. Long before his life was taken, he had already made a lasting impact on those closest to him, an impact that would remain long after his absence was felt. Despite limited research and understanding of ADHD at the time, Derrell Baker excelled academically. He attended Potter's House Ministry, where he demonstrated focus, determination, and a commitment to learning. His academic progress was strong enough that he enrolled in an online program designed to allow him to graduate early, reflecting both his discipline and motivation. Education was only one part of Derrell's daily life. He was also deeply involved in athletics, playing football as a defensive back. On the field, he earned a reputation as a leader, someone teammates looked to for encouragement and support. A coach gave him the nickname Hype at an early age, a name that stayed with him because of his ability to energize those around him. He consistently put others first, lifting teammates up and keeping morale high. Derrell's love for sports extended beyond the game itself. He possessed an impressive knowledge of sports history, able to recall facts and stories from different eras. That passion inspired his dream of pursuing a career in sports broadcasting. He envisioned a future where his understanding of the game and his voice could connect people to sports in a meaningful way. The camaraderie he shared with teammates and classmates mattered deeply to him. Whether in the classroom or on the field, Derrell valued connection and teamwork. He was known not only for his skill but for his character, a young man who balanced responsibility, ambition, and kindness. Through academics and athletics, Derrell demonstrated discipline and leadership well beyond his years. These qualities shaped his identity and reflected the values instilled in him at home, values that guided his choices and his interactions with others. Faith played a central role in Derrell Baker's life and in the life of his family. Wednesday evenings were reserved for church, where the family gathered in worship and prayer. Pamela Howard made it a priority that her children understood the importance of having their own personal relationship with God. Faith was not treated as a routine, but as a foundation. Derrell took that foundation seriously. He knew the Word of God and sought deeper understanding beyond regular services. On Sundays after school, he spent time with the youth elder, asking questions and engaging in discussions because he genuinely wanted to learn. His faith was personal and intentional, shaped by curiosity and commitment. Pamela believed strongly in raising children who did the right thing even when their parents were not present. Respect, responsibility, and integrity were values emphasized in the home. Derrell embodied those lessons in his everyday actions, whether at school, in sports, or within the community. Prayer remained a grounding force for the family, especially during difficult moments. Seeking God's purpose was part of how they navigated life's challenges. For Derrell, faith was not separate from who he was, it was intertwined with his identity. influencing how he treated others and how he viewed his place in the world. This moral grounding shaped his choices and strengthened his sense of purpose. It also became a source of strength for his family after his death. The values he lived by continued to guide those who loved him, serving as a reminder of the principles he stood for throughout his life. Derrell Baker shared an especially close bond with his mother, Pamela Howard. Among her fondest memories were their outings to IHOP, moments that allowed them to spend time together and connect. Derrell loved to cook, and food often became a shared experience that strengthened their relationship. These moments, ordinary at the time, later became priceless memories. Christmas was the family's favorite time of year. The household of 7 was filled with laughter, traditions, and togetherness. Each child made their own stocking, and the holiday centered on faith rather than material expectations. Pamela and her husband chose not to introduce the idea of Santa Claus, focusing instead on the religious meaning of the season. After Derrell's death, the family created new traditions to honor his memory. They continued making stockings, including one for Derrell, ensuring his presence remained part of the family celebrations. These acts reflected their determination to remember him not through loss alone, but through love. Pamela often reflected on Derrell's affectionate nature, his humor, and his intelligence. His laughter and positive energy left a lasting impression on everyone he encountered. He touched many lives, not through grand gestures, but through consistency, kindness, and genuine care. The memories his family holds on to are reminders of who he was before the violence that took his life. They serve as anchors grounding his story in love rather than tragedy. Through shared moments, traditions, and reflection, Derrell's presence continues to live on within his family. On September 8, 2008, at approximately 7:30 a.m., Derrell Baker was walking near Ed White High School and Old Middleburg Road in Jacksonville, Florida. He was only 17 years old. During that morning, his life was violently and senselessly taken in a drive-by shooting. Derrell was struck by gunfire and later transported to Shands Hospital, where he passed away from his injuries. Someone made a decision that morning that permanently altered the lives of Pamela Howard and her family. What should have been an ordinary day became the beginning of a lasting tragedy. Pamela later described the loss by saying her son did not pass away. He was taken from them. The distinction reflected her pain and the reality of what occurred. His death was not the result of illness or accident, but of violence. The shock of losing her oldest child forced Pamela to question everything she believed she understood about God. In her prayers, she asked why her child had been taken and begged for her faith not to fail. The grief was immediate and overwhelming. Derrell's death sent ripples through his family and the community. A young life full of promise, leadership, and love was gone. The moment marked a turning point, not just in Pamela's life, but in the lives of all who knew him. In the years following Derrell Baker's death, his family sought ways to honor his life and cope with their grief. They created the DSB Foundation, named after Derrell's initials. The nonprofit focuses on helping the local homeless community while also promoting grief, support, and suicide awareness. Through the foundation, the family worked to create a new sense of normalcy, channeling their pain into service and awareness. Derrell's values of compassion and community continued through these efforts. Ensuring his impact did not end with his death, Pamela carried the weight of unanswered questions. She spoke openly about the lack of closure, stating that there is only resolution because there is no closure. Her words reflected the ongoing uncertainty surrounding her son's death. She has continued to ask for information, urging anyone who knows something about what happened to come forward. For Pamela and her family, knowing the truth matters deeply. They believe Derrell was loved and that they deserve answers. Even in heartbreak, Derrell's light remains present. His life continues to guide others through faith, service, and remembrance. Though taken too soon, his story endures through the love of his family and the legacy they work to preserve every day.